Bond stands alone.
Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining. And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Stacks on Stacks Slats. Joined with my guy, Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson. And Irv will be joining us shortly. He is on the freeway heading home, so we will see him soon. But we are kicking off today's show. Obviously, there's no more NFL football. Big sad face. However, there's a lot going on. Huge sports weekend this weekend. All-Star game. We had NHL games. XFL started, which actually was pretty decent football, man. I actually enjoyed it.
You cannot call that decent football.
Bro, it was entertaining, man. Like I enjoy it. I enjoy the rules they have. I think it adds to a lot of excitement. And we'll get into that further. We also have some NFL news and things that might be shaking down there. We got the World Baseball Classic, which is getting ready to start. And then obviously Tiger Woods at the Genesis Invitational made the cut, finished 1 under. And we'll be talking a little bit about Tiger Woods, but I do have to mention we are being brought to you by Tavour. Make sure to go to Tavour.com or download the Tavour app straight to your mobile device and use promo code TAPROOM for $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. That's craft beer delivered straight to your front door. You don't even have to leave your seat. How we doing tonight, Ben? How we doing? How was your weekend?
Doing well, man.
My guy's getting ready for his wedding. Well,
I mean, no, we got a long ways to go.
But I mean, like you're planning the wedding.
Oh yeah, no, wedding April 2024. So we got time, but oh man, it's a shit show. But weekend's good. Got to go get some great beer at a couple places this weekend. Got a great beer for the show tonight, actually 2, which I'm really stoked about. And can't complain. We get an extra day off. Monday's not gonna be too
that's
hard.
right. I forgot all about that, dude. That's your shit.
Oh yeah,
that's your shit.
Oh yeah. How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing great. Had an excellent Saturday and a good day today too, betting. Shouldn't have bet Iowa -1. That might have been my worst bet of the year. But that's the way betting college basketball goes. And people always, I give people some picks all the time, and there's some incredible tough beats, dude. Like teams will be covering the entire game, and then you end up losing in the last minute. And try to explain to people, like, dude, that's just college basketball, bro. Like,
exactly.
There's a lot of variance in it, and there's a lot. You can have the greatest handicap in the world, and you'll be covering all game long, and it'll just like that. Flip. So I mean that's just the way it goes, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, had a great weekend. Had an awesome day today. Sat down and was able to watch the Genesis Invitational, the final round. I watched Tiger's first round on Thursday, his entire first round, which was fucking awesome, dude. Yep. And I'm excited Tiger's back, man, and I'm excited that he played well. Most important.
Yeah, he pulled a bitch move though, but.
With what?
The tampon fucking prank.
Come on, dog. You're not upset about this, are you?
I'm not upset about it, but it was just like, dude, bro, you're fucking 47.
Who cares, bro? Like, dude, it's just, dude, it was a joke, man.
Yeah, but it was a tasteless joke, and let's not joke about that.
I liked it. I thought
that was a tasteless joke, especially from a guy who's got a fucking 15-year-old daughter. What are you doing?
Dude, I mean, I don't know, Ben. I don't want to go all into there, but I didn't find it. I wasn't offended by it. I honestly didn't care. I didn't
You're
even.
not a woman,
I
so
am not a. I'm.
that
You're
would
right.
be right.
You're right. I'm not a woman.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a lot of women on Twitter that have been standing up saying like, dude, like, what are we upset about? Like, why are we upset about this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think there's a lot more in society to be upset about. Like, for example, the NBA celebrating Karl Malone, who's a known rapist who's gotten a fucking 13-year-old impregnated. Yet here they are celebrating him. Like, there's a lot worse things to be upset about. You know what I mean?
That doesn't mean that it's not right. Or it's not wrong.
Everybody's gonna be offended by something, dude.
No, absolutely.
You know, you can't please everybody nowadays.
Yep.
And now with social media the way that it is, I mean, everybody's upset.
Yep.
Unfortunately, and you know that's the way it is. So, I personally don't give a shit. You know, you probably personally don't give a shit, but you understand that some women do take offense to it, and I understand that, but I just think that there's, you know, like I said, there's other shit to be more offended by this weekend than that. So,
which weekend isn't there or something? So.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
But anyways, you know, let's talk about the NBA All Star game.
Do you have beer?
Yeah. Before we do that, let's talk about our beer.
All right, so just for everybody to give a little bit of background for why we're drinking beer, why we're kind of emphasizing, you know, beer in the podcast, is we wanted to make this a podcast that really, it was like we were sitting at a brewery drinking beer and watching sports, talking about sports. And that's why we're going to be, you know, looking at a couple beers each Sunday show. We're going to be reviewing those beers. We've kind of been pushing the timeline on our end of our shows for Sundays, so we haven't done as much of the reviews as we used to, but I'm gonna make sure we get back into that. But
yeah, for real, we got to. I always forget about that shit.
Yeah, it happens. It definitely happens. And we got other things to get to. It's a Sunday night. We got families. We got other shows. Just it happens. So we're going to drink and review two different beers. I've got a local one today, and then I've got, you know, the last of my Great Notions in that big set that I picked up. So
hell yeah,
we'll go through those. But what's your first beer of the night?
My first beer of the night is a Mason Ale Works. This is crafted and canned in San Diego, California. This is their West Coast IPA. So it's 7.2%. Hoppy, piney, citrus legend. So it's
cool can.
It's their usual West Coast IPA. I mean, for those that aren't familiar with Mason Ale Works, I mean they really do kill IPAs. I say that all the time every time I drink one. I haven't had a Mason Ale Works in a while though, Ben. To be honest.
Yeah. I wish we got more of them here in the Bay Area, or at least I knew where I should be getting them, but I don't see too many of them.
Oh wow. So. They're pretty pop. I mean, I guess we're only like a few hours away from San Diego, so
yeah,
it makes some sense. But yeah, man, this is gonna be my first beer, so I'm excited for it. I always love Mason's, their IPAs and such, and I've never had this one, so
oh yeah,
excited for it, man. What are you sipping on?
Nice. So my first beer of the night is going to be called Juice Junior. This is from Great Notion. They're out of Portland. Super excited for this one because it's another hazy IPA like I had last week, but this one comes in at 6% rather than the 7%, so it's a little more manageable. That second beer isn't going to be as, you know, tough to get down because I'm not going to be feeling myself as much as I was on that 7%. So this again, they just kill it with the can art. It is absolutely. I mean, I think every single beer that we've had from Great Notion has had incredible can art. So
awesome can art and awesome taste
and great beer. Yeah,
you know, that's the two best things to go along with beer. All right, Ben, let's talk about the NBA All-Star game. So
yep.
I don't know if you had a chance. Did you watch the NBA All-Star Saturday night by any chance? Like any of it?
Little bits. I saw the 3-point contest and the dunk contest.
So you saw
the important ones.
You saw Kevin Porter go out there and set white boys back 100 years in basketball by only making 8 3-pointers.
Yeah, and then I saw what's his name?
Mac McClung.
What's that?
Mac McClung.
McClung, yeah. It's kind of set, you know, white people forward back to where we were after that.
I feel like it balanced out because white boys don't even normally do well in the slam dunk contest, and Kevin Horter. Anyways, the Mac McClung thing was the discourse last night was disgusting, to be honest, in my opinion. Kenny Smith saying, "Oh, the dunk contest is back." Like, no, it's not. It was
Those were some great dunks. I think those were better dunks than we've seen in a long time.
in a long time, bro. Ben, that's where we're at with the dunk contest. It's trash, and it's been trash since Levine and Aaron Gordon set it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it hasn't been the same, and a big problem with NBA All-Star Saturday Night, in my opinion, is just a lack of star power. Like, your stars don't even want to be involved, and not only do they not want to be involved, dude, they weren't even there.
Yeah.
Curry wasn't there, LeBron wasn't there, KD wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just you know, when I was growing up, I had a friend whose birthday always falls around the time of NBA All-Star Saturday Night and NBA All-Star Weekend. And his birthday was like every year we would watch NBA All-Star Saturday Night. Like, that was part of his birthday, right? And then after, it was like there was Above the Rim came on TNT, or some basketball related movie would come on, right?
Yeah.
But NBA All-Star Saturday Night just had this like energy and this vibe, and last night it just wasn't there. The skills competition was like, bro, I'm not even gonna lie, like, I watched the first like 30 seconds of it and I turned it off.
And it's done. Yeah.
I was like, bro, I'd rather watch XFL. And I put XFL on that screen, and I switched back once the 3-point contest started because I had Kevin Horter to win plus 900, and that was a fucking joke.
Yeah.
But my point is that just the whole vibe of NBA All-Star Weekend, it's just dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's sad.
I even thought today's game was just like
It was trash.
It was pretty trash. I mean, congrats to Tatum for getting what, 53 or 55? 55. Yeah, like that's awesome. But I mean, it doesn't mean anything. If you get 55 in a real game, I'm gonna congratulate him more than getting 55 in an All-Star game.
Yeah, they weren't even
because
playing
there's
defense.
Like, I think there was at the end when it got close, 5 points there. Like, then they played defense for 2 possessions.
Yeah.
But that was it. And it's just like, I don't really care to see 2 teams fight to get 182 points.
Yep. No, I mean,
like, give me an actual timeline.
Yeah, I mean, the All-Star game has never really been like a it's never really been like a very competitive game. Like, there has been years where, like, for the last quarter they'll play defense, or they'll little parts of it will be like very competitive, but for the most part it's literally just like Harlem Globetrotters, just a show out there. But I mean, you're right, dude, it was atrocious. And like, to add on to Saturday night was just like, I just felt in my opinion that like the NBA's got to figure it out, because I don't know what the ratings are going to look like, but all I know is this morning, all I was seeing on Twitter was the fact that like NBA's like, oh, Mac McClung's dunk videos 550 million views, which tells me that the ratings were probably dog shit.
Exactly, because everybody had to go and watch it,
and they're pushing that agenda to say like, oh, people do still care about it. You know what I mean? And like, I care about it. It's not that I don't care about it. It's just the fact that like it just doesn't have the same luster, dude. Doesn't have the same energy. Doesn't have the same hype. Doesn't have the same vibes. You know what I mean?
Yep. And if I have a hockey game that I want to watch, I'm going to be watching that before I watch that.
Oh, NBA bro, I was way more focused on the fucking college basketball games last night.
I watched the end of that last XFL game instead of watching the basketball game. I'm sorry that we'll talk about XFL a little bit. But.
I mean, I had the All-Star game on a screen, but I was definitely more focused on UNLV and Boise State, and I was in XFL than I was the All-Star game, to be honest.
Yeah. I can't wait till I get my office, man. Then I'll be able to have multiple screens going at a time.
That's the only way to do it, bro. Once you do, like, before I would always want to go to a bar or go to the sports book, but now it's like, I'd honestly just rather sit in my house because I can watch whatever I want to watch.
Yep.
I don't have to be under the mercy of other people,
Yeah. Early next year, I'll be in the new place with an office, so.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Multiple TVs, multiple computer screens.
All right, so obviously we don't have any football, or we do have football, but we don't have any NFL.
Yep.
But I do, obviously we focus on sports gambling and stuff, so I do want to bounce some NHL stuff off you. We haven't really talked about NHL that much this year, but as and not only us, dude, like we're a microcosm of the general betting public, right? So now that NFL's over, college football's over, the general public's going to be getting into your college hoops, your NHL betting, your NBA betting, and so forth. So I'm very interested in getting your opinions on some NHL futures. I have been watching NHL a little bit more lately. Obviously, I'm way more in tune with hoops, both college and NBA. But I did notice the Oilers choked two leads back to back this weekend.
Yep.
One of them I bet on Friday night, and they were up 4-1. I was like, oh, this is shit.
Easy money.
Let me go count this. Let me go cash this ticket, and then fucking end up losing. But what's some futures, Ben, that you're kind of looking at here, and you see some sort of value? I know you like the Sharks plus 20,000.
Yep. I'm gonna definitely be putting. I could put a fucking penny on that and still make $200. But no, there's a good number of teams that aren't even going to be close to making the playoffs, and I think that's the big thing about hockey is all you have to do to get. We were talking about this the other night. I don't think we were on air for it. Maybe we were, but once you get to the playoffs, it's a whole different story. So really, you can pick a number 8 team to win the Stanley Cup and have some really good value on that. So there's a couple teams that
before you move on, Ben, I do want to mention last year the Avalanche were heavy favorites all year long.
Yep.
And they had no value. Like they were like plus 150 to win the Stanley Cup at this time last year.
Yeah.
This year, hold on. This year, do we have a team like that in your opinion, where they're like the outright favorite? Is it?
You could definitely say Boston. You can definitely say Boston. I think after this trade deadline, I think you can definitely put Toronto close to the list. But the problem with Tampa Bay and Toronto, with Boston and Toronto, is they got a little bit of a difficult schedule coming forward. So it's going to take them a lot of energy out of their sails. Going into the final. What are we at? So we're at 55 games played. So we still have 25 to 27 games remaining in the season. Some teams have 28, but when you're playing NHL games, having an easier schedule, getting that momentum going into the playoffs is really huge. So Boston will be that number 1 team overall. The only other team close is Carolina, and they're still 7 points behind. Carolina has let's see, where's Carolina on this list? They're the 10th hardest schedule overall. So, they've got difficult time ahead of them. So I think Boston is still going to be the number 1 overall, moving into the playoffs. And, that's going to be your betting favorite. That's going to be the chalk.
But do you think that there's value like at 5-1? Are you confident in betting money on Boston, knowing not only that you're tying up your bankroll, part of your bankroll for a few months, for just a 5-1 payout? Like, is there that much value in Boston, or is there more value elsewhere?
I think there is value in Boston because they're such a big home heavy team, 23-2-3 at home. So if they can continue their home kind of prowess, they're going to have home rank advantage throughout the playoffs. So that could definitely be something that, yes, it's only 5-1. I'd put some money on it. But I'd put a unit on it. And I think you can break up another unit into, halves, maybe 2 units into halves, and still make some money on your Boston bet. But then you can take a couple other teams that would really make you some money, even, with your unit and a half, unit and, 2 units out on somebody else.
Because the interesting thing to me is that, like, you know, Colorado is third, 7-1. Yet teams that are ahead of them, like Vegas and Dallas, um, even Winnipeg. I mean, Winnipeg is way down there, dude. 30-1 at some spots. I mean, like
Winnipeg has a tough, they're 13th hardest, in the division, and the problem is that they've choked. I mean, I don't want to say they've choked as bad as Edmonton has, but they've choked a lot in the playoffs. So they haven't been a team that really has proven to themselves and proven to the better that this is a team that can win series.
even Edmonton's higher than them.
I know.
Yeah.
And Edmonton are the biggest choke artists. The largest oil spills of the last decade have been
Edmonton's in that
lost the playoffs.
Edmonton's in that, they're in that picture now where it's like everybody knows they have the best player in the world on their team, right? So like I think the books just kind of have to leverage that, knowing that people are going to bet it, because like you would hate to throw like a realistic number out there, which is probably put them around the Kraken range, which is like 3,200, 3,300, right? And you would hate for them to actually make a Stanley Cup run, and then you have to cash out those tickets.
Yeah, I mean, you can go. It's PointsBet has Edmonton at plus 1,800, and you can look at FanDuel at plus 1,500 for Edmonton. So if you're going to go anywhere to bet that, I'd definitely go to FanDuel on that.
So as a guy with a cracking future, Ben, and my numbers come down. I got it at plus 4,000. It's like plus 3,300, plus 3,000. So I got a good number right now.
Yeah.
Do I have a shot to cash?
I mean, that's a really, really tough question there, because they are a team of unprovens. I'd say they're the Giants of 2010 to 2014. There's just a lot of question marks to how this team will perform, but they're definitely a bunch of misfits that can win. They've got the second easiest schedule going into the playoffs.
Yeah, they get to play the Sharks like 3 more times, right?
They play the Sharks twice. So they play the Ducks twice. They play Columbus once, Chicago once, Sharks twice, Coyotes 3 times, and the Canucks once.
That's a lot of dubs right there.
That is a lot of dubs right there. They do have, a couple tough games. They've got Boston once, Toronto once, 2 against Vegas.
They did beat Boston in
Dallas.
Boston, though.
Yep. Yeah, so this is going to be a home game against Boston, and even though Boston's going to come for some retribution, I still think they can win that game. And even if they win half of those games, that's going to be really good for them coming into the playoffs. Not only are you going to get some good wins, but you're going to get a lot of points at this end of the season here. So, Kraken can definitely do it. I mean, they're sitting at, excuse me, where are they sitting?
3,300 plus 3,300.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at them more for the, they're in that number 3 spot for the Pacific. So, they can definitely move up. They're only 2 points behind Vegas in number 1. So they can move up position and get, better home ice advantage against some of these teams.
One thing,
and they're only 2 points behind actually Vegas and Dallas,
and Dallas has been slumping.
Dallas has been something, but they've got a really easy schedule going through the end of the year. So Dallas is actually my sleeper pick of the, of the futures here. You can get Dallas at, plus 1,500. I think there's some good value there. I'd only put, a half unit on that. So if you're putting, say your unit is $20, you can put $10 on it and win 150. If your unit is $100, you can put $50 on it and you could win. What is that like?
What's our number at?
Plus 1,500.
So $50 would win you about 1,250 bucks or 1,500 bucks.
Yeah, I mean that's good money right there. I mean, if you are PointsBet, you can get them for plus 1,800. So, I think there's some good value in that, plainly because they're going to be flying into these playoffs. They've got 3 games against Chicago, 2 against Arizona, 3 against Vancouver, 1 against the Flyers, 2 against Seattle, and 1 against Nashville. So
Ben, what wins in the postseason?
defense,
And
goaltending.
who has the best goaltending in the NHL?
Um,
The Rangers?
I don't even know if I'd go Rangers right now.
Sherskin? I don't even know how to say his name, but it's just
Yeah. I think you could say Shesterkin's a great goaltender. There's been some guys who have actually like really stepped up their game this year.
that's the thing is, like, you can be a great regular season goaltender, Nabokov, and not be a good playoff goaltender. You know what I mean?
I mean, you got to put it as the best goaltender right now is Ullmark in Boston. Minnesota, great goaltending.
But Shesterkin,
Dallas,
dude, he was great in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
I think, dude, it's tough to say, like, this is my opinion. Obviously, I'm not a big hockey bettor, so don't be taking anyone listening. Don't take my advice on this. But, from my experience watching hockey as a casual viewer, as a casual fan, obviously, I see a lot of great goaltenders in the regular season fold in the postseason. I see a lot of shitty goaltenders in the regular season. Johan Hedberg
staying on their heads
in the postseason, right? So it's really tough to, like, in my opinion, it's like really tough to like gauge based on regular season action. And like someone like Boston, and why I asked you, does Boston have any value at plus 500, was because I think Boston probably has the most unknown commodity in their goaltender.
Yeah,
he doesn't have. And
Ullmark has been playing incredibly. He's got a 9.36 save percentage and under 1.91 goals against average.
But who knows what happens when your butthole clinches in the playoffs, dude?
One person gets hurt on your defense, and it opens up a floodgate against Ullmark there. So, yeah, it's a big question mark there. Let's see, where's Minnesota at? Minnesota's at plus. I mean, you can get Minnesota at Caesars for plus 2,500.
Are they even in the playoff hunt? Didn't they like trade people, Ben?
Minnesota is sitting at. Oh, I just closed that page.
Minnesota standings wise, they are 4th in the Central.
Yeah, they're sitting in that final wild card position. And they have the 27th easiest strength of schedule. So
yeah, and they also like
the 27th hardest. So
they're actually
easiest.
It's gonna be hard for them not to make the playoffs. So because they have 65 points, and then behind them is the Predators at 58, so they have 7 points to make up.
In the division, though, if you're looking at wild card, you've got Calgary Flames at 63.
Oh, are the Flames outside looking in right now?
Yep, Flames are outside looking in, 63 points.
But the Flames have a higher. The Flames have a higher. Their futures is plus 2,800, which is higher than the Kraken.
Yeah, they're looking at Edmonton dropping dramatically to get out of that last playoff spot to get the wild card.
There's no way Edmonton doesn't make the playoffs.
I can see Edmonton not making the playoffs. Edmonton needs to add.
Their defense is atrocious, dude.
Their defense, yep.
Like, it's unfathomable how they've lost their last 2 games. Both games they should have won, too.
Yeah, they're on a 4-game losing streak right now. That has to change.
4-1-5 in their last 10, dude.
Yep.
That's all bad.
Yep. I think the biggest thing is at home, they're 13-11-5.
Yeah, but they just lost to the Rangers at home, and they were up 4-1 in that game, Ben.
Yep. Your home record should be outstanding.
Ben, not only were they up 4-1, they literally only had 4 shots on goal in the last 2 periods, dude.
Mm-hmm.
4 shots on goal, dude.
That's bad.
You're not even fucking testing the goaltender at that point. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. So out of what we've just talked about, what bet would you take right now other than your Seattle bet?
Well, I already have Seattle. I have it plus.
Which isn't half bad.
I have it plus 4,000. Now it's plus 3,000, which makes me feel a lot better about my bet because obviously I have a good number.
Yeah, but you still have Martin Jones back in the pipes, so.
Yeah, but I mean, Martin Jones did stand on his head and go to a Stanley Cup before. You know what I mean? So we've
It's
seen
still
it.
Martin Jones though.
We've seen it have. We've seen it have. He's not a good regular season goaltender, but he has been a good postseason goaltender. Honestly, like, and again, I'm like a casual NHL viewer. I don't watch all these teams every night. Like, I do follow box scores and I do follow the standings and stuff.
Mm.
But honestly, I think the Rangers at plus 1,400 is pretty solid, only because, like, Shesterkin's their goaltender, and, like, he was the best goalie in the playoffs last year. And if the Rangers had any sense of offense, I mean, let's be honest, Ben, like, we both thought the Rangers were going to make the Stanley Cup last year.
Mm.
The way they were playing, and
Absolutely.
they were up on the Lightning, and I think honestly the only reason why I don't think they beat the Lightning was because the Lightning just had so much more experience in them, and now the Rangers do have that experience, and the Rangers are getting hot right now.
Rangers are hot. 8-0-2, right?
Yeah,
in the last 10.
They're getting hot right now, which is very important. I do think that they do need to make an addition or two though, because the Maple Leafs have made some moves, and obviously Boston is in the same conference, so I would like to see the Rangers make a move. But I think at 14-1 plus 1,400, I think that's pretty solid value for the Rangers there.
Yep, you definitely see that. I've got two bets. I don't think you can knock off Colorado yet. They have a good strength of schedule ending the season.
Man, 7-1 just no value for me, dude.
Yeah, 7-1's not great. That would be my safer bet. And they're getting healthy, which I think is the big thing, and they will make some adjustments here at the trade deadline. But I really
Ben,
like that Dallas pick.
But Ben, like last year, Colorado, we could both sit here right now, February of last year, and we both would have been like, who's the best team in the NHL? We both would have said Colorado Avalanche. Right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Now it's like,
no, it's Boston.
Yeah, but you could say Boston, but like again, like they don't have that. This is like it could be an anomaly how they played the first half, right? Or the first 3 quarters of the season. Like we don't know for sure. We knew Colorado was, because they did it for a few years. They just fell short in the playoffs. Like this Boston team, this is like a new resurgence, right? So I don't even have the confidence to say Boston's the best team, even though they are the best team technically.
Yeah.
Like standings wise, I can't sit here and tell you that Boston is the best team, because like you said, Colorado may be the best team.
Yeah. And they've got the injury bug, and the hangover that I think you can put a little bit of influence on why they're plus 700 and not plus 500.
But they might have the second best player in hockey on their team.
Yep.
And the third best player in hockey on their team.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, I'm going to put a half unit on that. I'm going to put a half unit on Dallas, plus 1,500. I think, those would be my two best bets at this kind of juncture. I think your Rangers bet is good. I think your Seattle bet is a long shot that there's a chance. There's definitely a chance.
Me, I only play long shots, baby.
Yeah, those pay off. So
if they win, but if they don't, you're just donating.
Exactly. Vegas loves you though. So yeah, I mean, I like that plus 1,500. I think that's good value for it. It's at this point with 25 to 27 games, that's where I'd put it. Now, once we hit maybe 10 games left, 5 games left, really after we get past the March 3rd, which is our trade deadline, that's when I'm really going to start digging into futures bets on how these teams are fully made up for the playoffs.
Yeah, I think just playoff hockey is just so different, dude.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is, but it's just so different. Like you don't know.
Yeah,
it's just so hard to.
That's when I go away from game bets and I go to player props.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk some XFL football. So,
should we take a quick break?
Oh man, I still have like half my beer. But sure, okay. Let's take a quick break. And then we'll hop back in. Hold on.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll hop back in with another person on our cast.
Yep. All right. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. We got Irv finally joining us. Finally decided to come through. Bro needs a haircut again, though.
Huh?
I said you need a hair. You need to fade up them sides again,
Oh,
bro.
yeah,
Your hair
I'll
grows.
do that.
Your hair grows so fast, bro.
I'll do that. I'll do that this weekend. This week.
I swear, bro. You get a haircut and then the next week, dude, your hair's like back.
Yeah, my hair grow fast, bro. There's nothing I can do about it. It's always been like that.
I mean, that's a blessing once you get older.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about being bald.
Yeah, I was gonna say it could be a lot worse.
Hey, how are you? We're getting there.
Yeah, Ben's getting the bald spot.
Damn straight.
I don't know what that's about yet. Knock on wood.
Damn, somebody won $4,000 on any player to score 50+ points in the All-Star game.
That's incredible. Who offered that bet? FanDuel or DraftKings?
FanDuel.
Yeah, they be out offering the craziest shit, dog.
What was the fig on it?
Plus 2,100. He put $220 on
Plus 2,100.
Yeah, and he put 220 and he won 4,840.
It's a nice payout.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a. I mean, if you got $220 to throw away, I guess it's a good bet.
Yeah,
but
it's a good bet.
Anyways, welcome in, Irv. How you doing?
Doing good. Can't complain. Would have been home a lot sooner if these dumbass drivers learned how to drive on the freeway.
Oh well, you're in LA. That's
Yeah,
how
it was like a
goes.
6-car accident on the worst freeway to get an accident. The worst freeway to get in an accident on the 405.
Whew. Damn. We just talked about some NHL futures. Now we're gonna hop into some XFL talk. And really, I mean, it was gonna be pretty quick. Ben, he watched like 4 minutes of an XFL game.
I watched the last half.
I watched
last quarter. Sorry.
I watched 3 games total today and was in and out of the first one. Bro, I thought it was very entertaining. I thought it was some decent football, bro.
It's way better than it was last year.
It is better than it was last. Well, last year didn't we have the USFL, not the XFL?
I was gonna say the XFL is way better than the USFL.
Yeah, way better.
I'll give you that. I'll definitely give you that. But I wouldn't say it was good football.
Bro, you didn't watch that Battlehawks game, and that's the
No,
problem.
I think it actually. I wouldn't say. Okay, you get great football with the NFL and college football. This was good football.
Yeah, this was good football.
I was honestly impressed.
The problem with the XFL, in my opinion, is that the offensive lines aren't great or good. They're just like there.
They could run block like a motherfucker. They can't pass block for shit.
But I also think it has a lot to do with practicing too. Like
yeah, they didn't have a lot of preparation yet. I think as the season goes longer, the offensive lines will perform better.
It'll definitely get better. But I mean, that Battlehawks game today, I mean, dude, that was the most fascinating game I've seen in a long time, football wise. The Battlehawks scored
barn burner.
Dude, it was. The Battlehawks scored 15 points in 2 minutes, and the game literally was won because of special rules. The 3-point conversion and the onside kick, which they chose to do a 4th and 15. And it worked. And it was fucking awesome, dude. Like, it was entertaining as shit. But I will say, every game so far, the first 2 quarters or so haven't been very entertaining.
Yeah, I've been complete dog shit.
Although this Seattle Dragons game was...
You guys are proving my point.
Well, no, because, like, if your expectation is NFL football, you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
But it's football, and it's decent football. It's, I wouldn't say
decent.
I wouldn't say it was shitty.
No, it wasn't shitty. It's just, you can tell that they didn't have a lot of time to prepare, and they're basically, like, I wouldn't say they're doing it on the go, but they are trying to, put shit together as you can tell as the game goes on, they settle in and it starts flowing a lot better as far as the pass game and the run game.
Yeah. And
the defenses are clearly ahead of the offenses. It's not even close right now.
Yeah. But 3 out of the 4 games went over.
Yeah.
So.
But you also got to factor in the XFL has the 1, 2, and 3-point conversion.
Yeah, but I mean, like, teams were like 3 and I think it was like, or 4 and 18 on fucking the conversions.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. That's an opportunity for more points. And they also have a play where you could convert a 4th and 15 and get the ball back.
Yeah, that was awesome, dude.
The NFL needs to adopt that.
Well, I also like the kickoff too. The kickoff is awesome, where both teams line up 5 yards apart, and then the kicker kicks it, and as soon as the guy catches it, the teams can like run into each other. And I mean, it made for a great kickoff. I thought it was excellent. And on a touchback in the XFL, it's 35 yards out, so it enforces you to not kick a touchback.
I think that's a good rule, because that's literally all we have in NFL is touchback after touchback after touchback
all the time, dude.
Yep.
But yeah, dude, I think the XFL has some things going for them, and I definitely expect the product to get better as the season progresses. Like, I'm actually intrigued. Although I don't think it's a good idea that they have a game on Thursday night, because these teams already haven't practiced. And now they're not even these teams playing on Thursday.
Sorry for the two teams that got to play on Thursday.
Yeah, it's Seattle. I mean, Seattle, the first half, dude, like every offensive drive, they were driving down the field, and then all of a sudden in the second half, like they just could not get anything going, dude. Like,
and AJ McCarron looked horrible.
Well, he's on the Battlehawks. He looked bad until the last 2 minutes of the game.
The last 2 minutes of the game.
Then he looked like Tom Brady out there, bro. He was dropping dimes and shit.
But yeah, Ben DiNucci on Seattle.
He was, dude, he looked like the best quarterback in the league in the first half. And in the second half, he was just turnover, fucking terrible, bro. But honestly, I was expecting a lot less of the XFL, and I think that's why I enjoyed it so much more, was because I was expecting like dog shit football.
Like the USFL?
No, the other one. What was the other one a couple years ago? The AAFA
or
whatever.
The American. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like, that's what I was expecting. We got a lot better than that. No, I'm excited for The Rock, dude. I think he's doing this the right way, and I think they got something going, man. Especially how they incorporated sports gambling into their broadcasts. Are like, the over is this, and this is what they need to get for the over. And if you have Seattle Dragons -2.5, and they just incorporated sports gambling along with the broadcast, dude. I thought that was awesome.
I like that too. They update the game, like we went from -2 to -4 or +4. Yeah, so
I thought it was intriguing, to say the least. Anyways, hopping into NFL news.
Hey Jordan, have you started beer number 2?
No, but I can.
Okay.
Have you?
I have.
What are you sipping on? You do first. You go first.
All right. So while you're getting your second beer ready, I'm gonna go with mine. So I've got a beer called Rock Skip, and this is a session IPA. This is coming from Discretion Brewing Company, which is out of Santa Cruz, SoCal, Santa Cruz, which is, probably, well, now it's probably about 45 minutes away from me, but used to be about 20 minutes away. Great little brewery. It's a session IPA, so it's coming in at 4.8%, super drinkable. Even better, or sorry, 4.2%, even better because it comes in a 19-ounce can, and I just love it. It's got Cascade, Centennial, and Mosaic hops. I've taken 3 sips, and it is great. This is a beer that I'm definitely going to go back to.
What's it called, Ben?
Rock Skip.
All right.
I haven't had this one yet. I've seen it, but I've never gotten it, just because, sessions, you don't usually want to go for a 4.2 unless you're sitting out on a, hot summer day. Well, this is going to be my hot summer day go-to.
Hell yeah.
Good shit.
Mine is a great beer for summer days.
Mine is an excellent beer.
Yours is probably better than both of ours for a hot summer day.
Mine's from a Voodoo Brewing Company in Pennsylvania. This is the Oh Mama Sticks. This is a Golden American Lager.
Oh, there we go. Oh, awesome can art too.
Yeah, so I figured we're gonna be talking some WBC coming up. So might as well have an American beer for American baseball, world baseball, I guess.
America.
Sounds like a winner to me.
America, fuck yeah. Anyways, we got some NFL news. All right. Aaron Rodgers. A lot of reports coming out that like there's 0 chance he'll be back with the Packers. And
he's still on his darkness journey, right?
I have no fucking clue. I know Rodgers came out and said like, well, if you don't hear news from me, then I know it's not from my team because my team doesn't speak out against anybody. But this is news coming out from people talking to the Packers organization saying that the Packers don't want the fucking guy back.
They're done.
Yeah,
Some groups even said they were disgusted with him.
Yeah.
I called that during the season.
Yeah.
Yep.
And his betting odds for his next team are showing it. Raiders minus 390. So they're basically saying like, yo, he's going to the Raiders. Packers plus 300, Jets plus 600. So where do we think that Aaron Rodgers is ending up next year? Is it the Raiders?
Before we even get to that, does this drop does Green Bay coming out and say that they're disgusted, they don't want him, does that drop his trade value?
No.
I don't think so. Only because
Because
it's like they've dealt with
Go
this
ahead,
before,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Brett Favre, and they're just tired of the bullshit like last
Having
year.
to wait on him.
Well, not only that, I feel like last year he kind of like didn't even give his teammates a chance as new wide receivers.
Yeah.
Right? Like in the first game last year against the Vikings, he throws that bomb to Christian Watson, he drops it. He didn't throw Christian Watson a pass again for like 6 weeks. And then once he did start throwing in the balls, Christian Watson balling out. You know? And at that point, the Packers were like out of the playoff race. Like they had no chance because Rodgers didn't trust his teammates. We saw that in the playoffs the year before against the Niners. He literally kept trying to force feed the ball to Devontae Adams, and he didn't give anybody else a chance. Like if he doesn't trust you, like he doesn't throw you the ball. And I guess we could say like, you know, maybe that's that's probably normal or whatnot, but I don't know, bro. Aaron Rodgers is a weird fucking dude. Like, I got nothing personal against the fucking guy, but at this point, he's going to be 39 years old. He probably only has like 1 or 2 years left in him. If you're the Packers, like, why not just move on? You have Jordan Love sitting there, and Jordan Love actually played well when he got an opportunity last year. So he's way less money. You can invest money elsewhere in the team because he doesn't cost money. So why not just move on, get draft compensation for Aaron Rodgers, and just continue on as an organization like you've done? And people will sit here and they'll be like, well, the Packers have had Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre for fucking 40 years and they only have 2 Super Bowls to show for it. Yeah, but they've been relevant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
as long as you're relevant, you're in the conversation and you have a chance to win year in and year out.
Yep. So I just think the Packers are a smart organization. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're ready to move on, and you know they're willing to cut bait and let fucking Aaron Rodgers let another franchise deal with Aaron Rodgers, and I think Aaron Rodgers can succeed with another team that has talent, and obviously you know the Raiders have Devontae Adams, who's someone he trusts. Now, you know that the information came out in that SI article about Derek Carr and how he wasn't open to constructive criticism. I can't imagine Aaron Rodgers is open to constructive criticism, dude. So this could get very interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think if the Raiders don't get him, who's the next best option for the Raiders? And that's going to be Jimmy G because he's got that history with
Mac Jones.
Voila, boom, boom, boom. Mac Jones might be available.
That's true.
But again, dude, the reason why the Patriots seem to be ready to move on from Mac Jones is because apparently the reports are saying that Bill O'Brien, the new offensive coordinator of the New England Patriots, didn't like what he saw from Mac Jones on the sideline, which your boy pointed out time and time again about Mac Jones.
And it sounded like Bill Belichick didn't like that either.
Yeah, Bill Belichick didn't like the article came out that Bill didn't like it either.
Yeah.
So do the Raiders, I mean, which guy that can't take constructive criticism do you want? The Hall of Famer or Mac Jones? You know what I mean?
They're probably gonna take the Hall of Famer, especially with his ties and his
I don't know though. Wouldn't you want the young guy that has?
Nah, but they trying to win now. They're a team that believes. Their front office, their coaching, their fan base. 90% of
delusional fan base.
Yeah, 90% of delusional motherfuckers that they are. They don't need a rebuild. They need a retool.
Yep.
And they'll be okay.
I just don't understand that because they have a horrible offense, and this is coming from
an
average
hold
NFL.
on. Don't say they have a horrible offensive line because apparently they got a good offensive line.
Yeah, horrible offensive line.
Rank 10.
You have a you do have a number 1 wide receiver. but then every other wide receiver is mid after that.
They
And
might
you've
be,
got a good tight end.
and they might
can't
be
stay
losing
healthy.
Jacobs.
Yeah, and you don't have a running back. So
Well, running backs are a dime a dozen.
Yeah,
yeah, but not at Jacobs level.
Nah, you could find Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Running backs are a dime a dozen. And there's a guy named Muhammad Ibrahim who's projected to go in like the 5th or 6th round, who I think is going to be a fucking baller.
And he's an absolute dog.
Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna take another Alex Leatherwood in the 1st round. They're gonna take another fucking.
Nah, this is a different regime, dude. Give Ziegler some credit, bro. He could draft.
Yeah, I would hope that Ziegler is better than that. He had a solid draft his first draft. You could give him that. So hopefully he continues to build that. But the thing with them is I don't know why they need a rebuild. I'm just being honest.
Yeah,
you
that's
don't,
true.
And let's be honest, you don't have a home field
But Irv,
advantage.
I think the coaching, I think they know that too.
Yeah, because you don't have any type of home field advantage. Your fans sell their tickets at an all-time high just to make a profit. I think the only game they actually show up is the rivalry games, and those still look like 50-50. They got a better home field advantage when they come to LA and play the Chargers. So I just think that they need to build that O-line. They have the weapons on the outside, but shit, if you come up against an elite team that can rush the passer, and Rodgers doesn't move as well as he used to, he's going to be in the pocket more. I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I just don't understand how you get a Rodgers, and yeah, he's definitely an upgrade over Derek Carr for sure.
You got to pay him $55 million.
Yeah, and then how do you upgrade your defense, dude? Your secondary fucking sucked.
Worst secondary, probably the worst secondary in football.
Aside from Max Crosby, like, your defense, you could probably replace 10 guys on that defense and get better. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand it. And like, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'd rather go to the Jets, who have they're way more win now ready. They have a better offensive line. They have better skill players. They have a way better defense.
Damn near elite defense. So,
and not a division that's fucking stacked.
No, I mean, they're in a good division, but I mean, they still have the Bills in their division.
Yeah, but they don't have the Chiefs.
They don't have Patrick Mahomes in their division.
They don't have Herbert. And then,
well, the Broncos suck.
They don't have Sean Payton, so.
And the
I
Broncos,
didn't even go with Russ. I went with Sean.
The Broncos stink, dog. The Broncos aren't going to be good. That's going to be the best under bet of the entire offseason. It's
going to be the best 3rd place team in the division bet of the season.
Yeah, bro. They're going to be a awesome 6-win team. Irv's fuming over here, bro.
No, I'm not saying nothing. Keep on talking.
Bro, Irv, you told me all last offseason, bro, the Broncos were going to make the playoffs.
I thought they was until Russ had the worst season of his career, and we had 22 players on IR.
Bro, Russ looked like that the last 2 years. You just haven't been paying attention.
Not fucking that bad his last 2 years of Seattle.
Dude,
the year before that, he had 25 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Ben, have I not been talking about Russ being dog shit for a year and a half?
The year before that, he had 30-plus touchdowns. If we could even get to 25, 30 next year and cut down on those sacks, it'd be all right.
Russ can't cook.
Don't let Russ cook, dude.
Yeah.
But I'm very intrigued, Irv, in the sense that, like, if Russ isn't cooking, like, how does this all play out, dude? I'm very interested to see.
Sean Payton, if he has a 5-year deal, they probably have to stick with Russ for another year or two.
5 years, getting $20 million a year, dog. That's insane, dog.
Yeah, well, your owner's worth damn near $100 billion. So,
well, you're clowning the Raiders for paying a dude $100 million to coach their team.
Okay, so you would pay John Gruden $100 million before you pay Sean Payton $100 million?
John Gruden's an excellent football coach, in my opinion. He's just
you didn't answer the question there.
Yeah, answer the question. So you're gonna pay Sean?
I think John Gruden is a great football coach, dude.
Okay, so do you think John Gruden is better than Sean Payton? Fuck no.
I don't know, dude. John Gruden had way less talent than Sean Payton did. The only thing
Sean Payton only thing Sean Payton had year in year out was Drew Brees.
Yeah, and John Gruden and Derek Carr. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
before that, that's fine. But before that, who did he have?
I
He
mean,
won
dude,
with
he made
somebody
Rich
else's team.
Gannon. He made Rich Gannon into an MVP, and Rich Gannon was a journeyman
Yeah,
quarterback.
and what happened when that MVP ran up, made it to the AFC Championship?
Well,
Lost
he had
to
to face
a
the
guy
best
named-
defense in the history of fucking the NFL.
Yeah, he got his ass sat on by Tony Saragusa, and it was all she wrote.
Nah, John Gruden's a great football. I think the problem with John Gruden's position last time was like they gave him roster control, and like that dude isn't like. I mean, this is a guy that would have drafted Johnny Manziel in the first round. Like,
Okay, so how is he a great coach if he would have drafted that fucking?
that
bum?
doesn't make him a bad
He's
coach. He's a good coach. He's not a good.
He might be a great X's and O's guy for a first half, or he can get you a lead. But as far as
Nah.
playing with the lead and actually winning
Nah,
football
John Gruden's
games,
a good coach, dog. He's just
John
not a
Gruden
good.
was a good
He's not a
coach.
good
yeah,
GM.
he was a good coach.
He
But
is a
after
good
he
coach,
signed that deal
bro.
with the Raiders, he became
Nah.
an average coach.
He's a good coach. He's not a GM, dude, and that's
He's
why
he's a good offensive coordinator. That's what he is.
I think he's a good coach, dude. I would.
He's not better than Sean Payton, and it's not even close.
We'll see. We'll see because this is Sean Payton's second run, and what if Sean Payton falls on his face, dude? What if this doesn't work out? Then how do
Not
we look at
happening.
Sean Payton?
Because at the end of the day, if Russ is still stinking it up, Sean Payton would have to say so and the wherewithal and the cojones to bench his ass and
I
put
mean, Sean
somebody else
Payton
in.
didn't have the cojones to bench Drew Brees when Drew
He
Brees
had-
fucking could only throw a
he had-
fucking 2-yard
First of
out.
all, he's not going to bench a Drew Brees. That was his quarterback for how long?
It doesn't matter, dude. They're both Hall of Famers, Russ Wilson and Drew Brees.
Yeah, but it's totally different. No, this is
Why is it
the
different?
because the Broncos are a win now team, and
The
even
Saints
then,
were a win now team too.
And I was saying, even then, even if Drew Brees was stinking it, even if he was stinking it up, he wasn't as bad as Russ played last year.
He was pretty fucking bad though.
And on top of that, they had some of the worst postseason luck his last 5 years I've ever seen in my life. That non-call against the Rams
Yeah,
and
that was
that
bad.
the miracle in Minnesota, bruh, and
That
that
was-
Kyle Rudolph pushed off in the end zone that didn't get called.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I just, at the end of the day, you're only as good as your quarterback. And
Yeah.
we'll see. Like, I'm interested to see. Like, Russ is owed a lot of money. It's hard to get out from under that contract. Like, what if he still stinks, dude? Like, how do we
But
view?
then he'll be our quarterback for 2 more years. In year 3, we'll have to find a new one.
I
best
guess
of
the
luck?
good thing is they do have their 2024 first round draft pick,
Yeah.
so they can pick another QB up to replace him.
And you know who's up in 2024?
Who?
Drake May and Caleb Williams.
Oh yeah, that is 20. Yeah, 20. We're in 2023, huh?
Yep.
All right, let's talk
Mhm.
some WBC futures real quick. We gotta move on.
So let's also talk about this Justin Fields issue. You think Chicago
yeah.
is actually going to
I
even
think that is-
entertain? I think it's all smoke, but do you
I
think
think
they're
all
even
that
going to
stuff is
entertain?
being leaked and it's not true because at the end of the day,
Oh my god.
if they was gonna get rid of Justin Fields or entertain moving Justin Fields, we would have been heard about it because
Well,
you
they've been
see
talking
all
about
the
it.
smoke. You see all the smoke with Carr. You knew Carr was gone. You see all the smoke coming out about Rodgers. I think this is more posturing for them to get the best haul they can.
I think the one thing with
Trade in the number 1 pick.
I think the one thing with Justin Fields though is obviously he's under a rookie contract. However, he wasn't drafted by this new regime, right? So they have no ties
That's
to
true.
him. So they don't
No.
really if they honestly feel that Bryce Young is a better fit for them or CJ Stroud is a better fit for them, then I could definitely see them moving on. Now if they drafted Justin Fields, I feel a little bit different, but to be honest, like I don't think there's a lot of value for that number 1 pick. Like I don't think it's there because the Texans draft number 2, they need a quarterback. The Cardinals draft number 3, they don't need a quarterback. And then you have the Colts number 4 who need a quarterback. But at the end of the day, if the Cardinals don't need a quarterback and the Bears don't need a quarterback, and they know you're not going to draft a quarterback, then it's like both those teams are going to get the 2 best quarterbacks, right? So the Bears' first overall pick doesn't have a ton of value trade wise, unless a team that's like way back is going to trade up to draft a quarterback. And I don't think there is a team this year that's willing to do that because
I think the Colts might be able to do it depending on if they to get a veteran or not.
But the Colts have the 4th pick. Like if you know, like if the Bears don't want a quarterback and the Cardinals don't want a quarterback, you know you're getting the second best quarterback in the draft at number 4. You don't have to trade up.
Yeah, why not take the Cardinals pick at 3, and that's a lot less value than
we know the Cardinals
number 1 overall.
So first overall is the Bears.
Second is the Texans. They're going to draft a quarterback and
okay, but what if a team?
That's what I'm saying. But who's that team that's going to trade up to number 1? Like, I don't think that team exists because the Commanders are like, they like Howell. They're going to give Howell a chance. So they're out. Your next best opportunity is the fucking Panthers. But supposedly, like, they're enamored with fucking Anthony Richardson, who's definitely going to fall to them.
Sheesh.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't think that number 1 pick has as much value trade-wise as the Bears thought it would.
It did. Yeah, it doesn't now. Now that this is the way, now that these quarterbacks are shaking out the way they're going to shake out.
And so if you're Pace and you're sitting back and you're like, you're evaluating your team and you're like, well, you know, I didn't draft Justin Fields, and can Justin Fields be that franchise quarterback? Who knows? He rushed for 1,400 yards last year, threw for 17 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Is he that franchise quarterback that we view, in our opinion? You know, that's where it gets tricky.
I think he definitely will be with better weapons.
But we don't know. We don't know how Ryan Pace is viewing this. You know what I mean? Like, that's on that coaching staff to evaluate, because they didn't draft him, right? So they could say, like, okay, let's get our guy. Let's go get our quarterback. You know what I mean? And then we could trade Justin Fields to the New Orleans Saints, per se, for you know, because I'm sure they could trade him to another team for some draft capital.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's the tricky part with this draft. I think the way the draft shook out, with the Cardinals and the Bears landing 2 of the top 3 picks who technically have quarterbacks, makes it tricky, you know? Because like Ben said, like, okay, the Bears sit pat. They draft Willie Anderson. All right. Texans take number 2. They take Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. Then the Cardinals are sitting there at 3, and they're like, well, you know what?
Who wants them?
If you want a quarterback, here we are. We're sitting here. Offer us. Because we don't need a quarterback. So that's the wild card, to be honest.
And even if they don't take, even if you say, okay, Chicago's not going to take QB, even before the draft, before it gets to that time where they're taking that pick. Because if it's in between picks 2 and 3, then that 3rd overall pick is going to have a lot of even more value to it. So a team's going to want to take that 3rd earlier than the draft, because then they can get something for a little bit less, maybe another, a 2nd or a 3rd that doesn't have to be attached onto it.
Well, I also think a lot has to do with how the teams, their draft board lays out, right? So if you have CJ Stroud and Bryce Young way above Will Levis and Anthony Richardson, are you going to be willing to jump ahead at that number 3 if the second quarterback falls there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think that you have to jump ahead of the Texans to number 1, because at the end of the day, I think the Texans are very capable. I think they're willing to take whichever quarterback falls to them, whether it's Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. I don't think there's a big gap between the two, right? Or would you agree?
Nah, it's not a big gap between the two. But honestly, if I was to pick one, give me CJ.
Yeah, I would take CJ too. And I think on most people's draft boards, it's Bryce Young. So that's why I think the Texans are just sitting there. They're like, yeah, we're at number 2,
Sure. Yeah.
Chicago, do what you need to do. We ain't trading up. And then the Colts, probably the next quarterback needy team, they're sitting there at 4, and they're like, well, the Cardinals aren't taking a quarterback. Yeah. So, take whoever you want at number 1. If you want a quarterback, take him. If you don't,
well, if you're the Colts, do you trade that 4 to the 3 so somebody else can't get it?
That's where it gets tricky. That's what I'm saying. Like, But that's where I'm saying where number 1 pick doesn't have as much value because the Colts are sitting there at 4.
Yeah, because the only other team that might try to turn and do some shit like that if they don't get Rodgers, the Jets might trade up and try to snatch one of them.
But I think the Jets are in such a win now mode, Irv. I think they'd be willing to just sign Jimmy G on a free agent deal or Derek Carr.
Yeah, but if you get CJ or Bryce on that team, they ain't gonna be playing like a rookie.
Maybe, but we also don't know that.
And CJ is tailor made for what's the name system.
Yeah,
Paul Hackett has a good system.
because I mean, personally, I think the tricky team is Seattle.
Yeah, but Seattle just extended Geno, didn't they? Or they're going to extend Geno.
Yeah, but I mean, you know how the NFL contracts work. Like,
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying it's gonna be front loaded, back loaded, or the guaranteed money. He still is a bridge quarterback in my situation. If I was a GM, if I was Seattle, I would be looking to bring in either Bryce, CJ, or Will Levis. Well, Hendon Hooker. I like Hendon Hooker more than Will Levis, but he
Levis
got that
is
knee
gonna be
injury, so
nicer
that's going to
than-
affect him big time.
Levis is gonna be nicer than Hooker. But I do think Levis needs to sit for a year though. That's the thing with Levis is like he's not
If
gonna be able
anybody
to,
drafts him high, he's not going to be sitting for long, and he going to end up as either going to be boom or bust.
That's tough. That's tough. But I think as far as the Fields thing goes, I do think that there's legitimate. I think that if I'm Chicago, like I'm doing my due diligence and I'm at least talking to other general managers and saying like, you know, what's the value Justin Fields has in your opinion? You
It's
know?
going to be a first rounder minimum.
Yeah, and so if I can draft a CJ Stroud or Bryce Young number 1 and then get another first rounder for Justin Fields, like that honestly might be better because remember Justin Fields was drafted 2 years ago, so he's due for his second contract in a year or two.
2
Right.
years basically,
And that sets the clock back and we've seen how this works with Super Bowls. You either have to have an elite quarterback or you have to have a quarterback on a rookie deal so you can build a roster around him.
Shit, with the Niners trade for Justin Fields,
Doubtful because they have Trey Lance.
Yeah.
what if they trade Trey Lance?
Nah, there's no way that they do that.
I don't know. I don't think they're trading Trey Lance either.
I think if Justin Fields gets traded, I see like the Saints is like the best landing spot. Maybe the Bucks.
Bucks,
Yeah,
the shitty ass Bucks.
yeah. That's like the 2 landing spots. And Justin Fields came out and said that he doesn't like playing in the cold weather.
Yeah, he hates cold weather, but I don't get that when you went to Ohio State.
Well, you gotta remember the college football season ends in November, dude. Before it starts snowing, usually and shit.
But it's still cold as shit in October and November in Ohio.
Not
You ever been to
that-
Ohio in
not
October
as
and
cold
November?
as not as cold as Chicago in December, dude.
But it's you're still cold.
And Chicago's like the worst because they have like the fucking crazy winds, dude.
Yeah, I get it, but at the end of the day, you're a quarterback, so you got to live with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why Chicago never has good quarterbacks. So, if you're a quarterback, why you want to go play in that wind?
What do you think about Justin Fields in Miami?
Well, Tua would have to be forced to retire first.
Yeah,
Possible.
they don't have any draft compensation to really trade.
I forgot about that. Okay.
Yeah, they gave up a first round pick that we traded to basically get Sean Payton.
Yeah, so they're basically screwed.
They still got to deal with
maybe.
Tannehill contract for at least one more year.
Yeah, I honestly think the only landing spot I like legitimately see is.
Oh damn!
is
What
the
if Justin
Saints.
Fields went to the Patriots?
Patriots? You know,
I mean, they like Zappy though.
I was gonna say, call me crazy, bro, but I take Zappy over Fields.
Oh,
Which is good
okay.
because our Zappy merch is
I'm
definitely.
gonna head out on this one.
Dude,
Like,
Zappy got a fucking arm, dog. He could
remember
sling
when
that.
Justin what's Holland's name? The dude that used to play, what's the name?
Who?
He was with Shaq, and Shaq got up and walked away on first take.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
Jordan.
I don't remember, but I mean, like, dude, Fields is cool, bro, but he ran for 1,400 yards. He didn't even throw for as many yards as that.
Well, he had look at his shitty ass. He had no O line and no wide receivers.
Well,
If he didn't run the way he did, he wouldn't have made it through that season.
my only issue with Fields is like, I think he's an elite athlete, but he cannot continue to play the way he played last year.
Yeah, it's not sustainable
Yeah,
at all.
He's gonna fucking kill himself, dog.
Do you think I'm just looking at trade teams? Do you think the Bears would trade Fields to another NFC team
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, because they wouldn't care because they
as long as
feel
it's
like
not in division.
yeah, they feel
I
like
think they would trade
CJ
him in
and what's the
division
name
too.
could be their quarterback of the future. So they, as long as they get what they want for him, they wouldn't restrict who they trade him to.
Okay.
I don't think they would trade him
Personally,
to
I
the
don't.
Vikings.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think they're gonna trade him. But you know, I think with the way the draft's shaking out, I could very well see a situation where they're just like, bro, at this point, we might as well just take the quarterback and trade.
Have
Fields.
a competition and trade the loser.
Yeah, or just trade Fields and have an extra 2 years of quarterback of control on a rookie contract, right?
They got 4 years if they draft a rookie quarterback.
But
Well,
2
technically
extra
5.
years, 2 extra years because Fields still has 2 more years. So we could have 2 more extra years of control on a rookie contract, and we can trade Fields for more draft compensation. Like, because I don't think they're gonna get what they think they were going to get before all this shook out. You know what I mean?
Also depends on the team needs though, because some teams really need a QB.
Yeah, but those teams, like I said, those teams, the 2 teams that need a QB more than anybody is the Texans and the Colts. And they both draft 2 and 4. And the Cardinals draft 3. And the
Buccaneers need. Well, they might see what they got in Kyle Trask, but I don't think they have much in him.
No, but the Bucks can sit back and draft a fucking Hendon Hooker.
Yeah,
because I think this quarterback class is pretty deep. So we'll see how it shakes out. Anyways, we spent a lot of time on this.
Let's go, y'all.
So we're not going to get to WBC today.
We'll talk about it with the AL Central then.
Yeah, we'll get to it on Wednesday. Got any best bets for tomorrow?
Dallas plus 1,800.
Dallas Stars plus 1,800
Dallas
future
Stars plus
to win the
1,800.
Stanley Cup.
Oh.
Irv, you got any best bets?
best bet. Give me for the Panthers -1.5, -170. Well, no, hell no. Give me
-170 is not bad value though. Who are they playing?
give me the Seattle Kraken
Ooh.
+165 on the puck line -1.5.
I like the Seattle Kraken, bro. Let's go. Give me over 133.5 UC Riverside versus Cal State Northridge. UC Riverside, one of the highest scoring teams in the Big West. Cal State Northridge can't stop a fucking statue. I could very well see this being a blowout. And then also give me Kansas +2 at TCU tomorrow. I don't know if you can get this +2 still. I wrote this down like an hour ago. It's probably moved to like pick 'em or +1 at this point. But if you can get Kansas +2, take it. Let's go. Let's get this money. We'll see y'all on Wednesday. AL Central preview on Wednesday.
Yep. Central.
Gotta love it.
How's the beer,
Yeah,
Ben?
It was good. I really like this Juice Junior at 6%. The Great Notion. Definitely give it I'd give this one a 4.205 out of 5. Hazy IPA, so it's going to go down a little bit. But this rock skip, I'm going to give a 4.5. 4.2%. You can drink this. I can't wait to have it on a summer day. 19-ounce can. So you do have to drink it fast so it doesn't get warm.
Bro, you live in San Mateo. There's no such thing as a summer day. Remember what Frank Sinatra sang? Or my favorite winter is a summer in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, but I'm still going to be in hot places during the summer.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I'm not just sitting in my bubble in San Mateo here, so.
He really don't be going nowhere, y'all.
That's true.
My
I'm
Mason
saving.
Ale,
I'm not going anywhere.
my Mason Ale Works Ben. I'm giving that a 4.25 out of 5. Definitely drinkable. Definitely crushable. I like it. The flavor is really good. This American lager, I'm gonna go 4 out of 5. It's not like your typical lager, dude. It's pretty like it tastes like a wheat.
Okay.
And
Is that thick?
Yeah, pretty thick for a lager, dude.
Okay.
Not very impressed. 4 out of 5. I mean, I would drink it again, but it's not
Still
something.
good, yeah.
Reminds you of that Bush Light.
Nah, Busch Light I could drink like water. It's not good, but I'll drink it like water. But yeah, 4 out of 5 right here.
There you go. For everybody out there, make sure to go to devour.com or download the Devour app. Use promo code TAPROOM, and that'll get you $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. That's craft beer delivered straight to your front door, and 2 free beers on us.
Let's go, baby. Thank y'all for joining us for Swerving Irvin Washington, Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson. We will be back on Wednesday night, or is it Tuesday? No, Tuesday, right? Because we did Wednesday because it was Valentine's Day on Tuesday.
Yep.
So we'll be back on Tuesday. We'll be breaking down the AL Central futures, over under win totals, and we will be breaking down WBC futures as we head towards the World Baseball Classic. So definitely make sure to join in for that. Hope y'all got some good information tonight. I'll be on Temple Hoop tonight, so tune in for that tomorrow. We'll see y'all Tuesday night. Have a blessed Monday. Let's go.